Dude, like Splatoon used to be such a great series for me, but over the years, it has just declined in favoritism, in my opinion, honestly. I used to enjoy Splatoon so much from, 2015 all the way to 2019. Like, I mean, I guess I did enjoy it a little bit in 2020, but after that, the likeness of it kind of faded away from me. So I'm just here to talk about kind of the reason why the Splatoon is really like just it's kind of fading towards the favoritism and stuff, and the reason why I don't really like it as much as I used to. Now, I this channel honestly started out being a Splatoon channel, believe it or not. Fun fact: this channel was once called Sidewinder Inkling Squid or whatever it was. At one point, I was very big on Splatoon and stuff back in 2016 because at the time I started this channel, I was always doing Splatoon videos. I was always recording it with the camera, phone camera. It was pretty fun though, because I used to just record really funny matches and stuff. And over the years, I think it was like mid 2017, I changed this channel just to being called Sidewinder because obviously you guys remember my nickname used to be Sidewinder, okay? And I used to have I developed this trolling persona where I would just mess with people's minds and I would just try to get them to think that I'm dumb to see if they fall for the bait and stuff. And lots of people did. And then I started developing the same type of trolling phenomenon Mario to Plumber did. And it kind of evolved from there. And I still played Splatoon, don't get me wrong. But I was more focusing on doing my opinion videos and doing things to really anger people, and it worked for a long time. But over time, I think really it was like after 2018 when the Splatoon vibe really was starting to really slowly slow down for me, and I began really just developing other interests in other video games and other kinds of things. And I was collecting Hanna-Barbera stuff at the time too. I also had other kinds of things I was collecting as well, like plushes, figurines, and even glass bottles. Like, because you remember, I used to have those glass bottles I showed on 80 Gamer 553 when it was the vlogging channel. But I think really what killed the Splatoon vibe for me in 2019 is the whole fact that the whole hater situation started in 2019 and really started escalating in 2020. So that's kind of what killed the Splatoon vibe for me is the fact that I had lots of people that I'd play the game with, and back then I used to have lots of people that used to really have favoritism towards me in the Splatoon community and stuff. That all changed a lot. That all changed, okay? If you guys have seen some of the videos that people made where I would like tell people to delete their Octo expansion, okay, all that stuff is true, all right? I did actually tell people to delete Octo expansion and stuff, and I was a bit envious. I had that was one of the sins I was really struggling with back then was envy. And what really happened was I knew the Octo expansion was coming out, and at the time, $20 was quite a bit of money, honestly. These days, it's not even close to the amount of money I would say that would be required for it nowadays. I think like 50, $60 would probably be the equivalent of $20 back then in 2018 when Octo Expansion first released. Um, but I'm gonna go back a little bit. We'll save Octo Expansion for a little bit later. Um, so the Splatoon friends I had back then, they were really cool. Okay, I mean, we had group chats, we had communities, and we had our. I think yeah, we had our own community and stuff. I used to participate in Splatoon clans, believe it or not. I think that's one of the things I never even mentioned when I was talking about Splatoon in the Stop the Pedophilia Harassment video. I was gonna mention that, but I totally forgot to mention it. because at the time I was saying that the Splatoon vibe was ruined for me because of the pedophilia harassment and stuff like that. I think I was supposed to mention it after I said that Splatoon 2 was garbage to me, because at the time the only reason I said Splatoon 2 was garbage was because the one person I used to play with uh, didn't play with me anymore and stuff, and it really got to me in that video right afterwards. And I think I went on a big pause because you might have heard that like I was breathing, and then all of a sudden it just started up again because I went on a big pause because I needed to really get back to how I needed to be in that video, because the video was kind of, it was being serious and then it was like half a joke basically. So that's what that really was, and I really changed from being that kind of person anyway. So yeah, back on the topic of all the Splatoon friends I had. It was pretty nice, honestly. I mean, I think the nicest moment was when me, the cruising dude, who was Arcade Konami dude at the time, and a couple of people actually played the game. We were all really like having fun. We were just like playing, just for fun and stuff. I think we joined in Splatoon 2 in the what was it called? League, I think was called. Yeah, and we all played the game, and it was pretty fun. The cruising dude was playing some really funny stuff on the call at the time. It was, if you guys don't know, me and the cruising dude, we have a lot of interests and common interests and stuff. He was playing the sound effect of Home Improvement going. It was actually pretty funny though, because he kept on playing it. Like we were playing the game, and he was just repeating that. But it was a grand time. I think that was the one highlight for 2018 that was caught for Splatoon 2. It was a grand old time. Okay, I gotta say it was really fun. And I think what really kind of set this mood off was the fact that we became friends almost at the same time all this was happening. Me and the cruising dude, we became friends. It was July of 2017, and it was like, I don't know if it was a year after or if it was just almost a year before. But that's when me, this other guy, and a couple of people, I think it was the Nerdy Inkling. Um, he's a pretty cool he's a pretty cool friend of mine too. I mean, I don't really mention him in my videos because I don't really talk to him all that much. Um, but at the time, I was really popular in the Splatoon community and stuff back when it was not toxic and all that stuff. I used to participate in communities, and I was even added to some group chats and stuff. And people were, they were pretty nice at the time. But I think really what really, like, kind of killed off the mood after that was because let's get back to the Octo expansion thing, because when Octo expansion was first coming out, okay, before it came out, I was still pretty good with a lot of people in the Splatoon community and stuff. And when Octo expansion first released, I started to see people sharing 30-second clips to their accounts and stuff like that. And when that was happening, I, again, like I said, I was saying, delete your Octo expansion. You don't deserve it. Delete your Octo expansion, or I'll unfriend you and stuff. Yes, like I said, I admit it. I said that stuff. Okay, because envy was a big sin that was really taking over me at the time. And 2018 really wasn't that bad for sin for me, honestly, because I really wasn't right with God in 2018 and stuff. I really didn't get right with God until like it was like 2024, like I said. But yes, I did do all that stuff. Okay, I'm remorseful for it, and if the people that I did this to don't forgive me for it, that's up to them. I'm not gonna force them to forgive me because I'm not that type of person that goes and tries to bribe people to forgive me and stuff. I just don't. I just won't do that. But then after that, I think I lost at least maybe like, I'd say like 20 plus people. I did get the trust of maybe like a few people back, but most of them I have not won the trust back. I haven't even tried to get the trust back to some of them actually because I don't know how people actually are and stuff. People are these days can be, they could be nice or they could be one of the meanest people you could ever be and stuff. And nowadays with the Splatoon community is all a bunch of people who are just they talk about they don't really talk about the game, and stuff like that. What I've seen when I go to most Splatoon 2 or 3 streams is they talk about random stuff. Not that they can't talk about random stuff because they can, but hardly do I ever see them talking about like different kinds of gear. What weapon do I need to use? I don't really hear that all that often. Like maybe 2 streams out of like 10 probably. I'd probably hear them talking about the actual game. What I really hear people talking about in the Splatoon community is pedophiles and just bad people in general. And it leaves a bad taste in my mouth every time I say those kinds of words and stuff because I don't like saying those words because those kinds of people are not good people. And if you're trying to label me out to be that kind of person, then you're looking in the wrong direction because I don't do that stuff. I really don't. And that's kind of what the Splatoon community now paints me out to be is someone who preys on kids, and I don't do that. I have absolutely no interest in that stuff. Like there's these people that I think they literally know that I'm innocent, but they don't want to fully admit it because they want to look good in front of the people that are also doing this thing, and not because they want to look good in front of God. Basically, God knows that I'm none of these things these people are saying. Okay, and I'm not even saying this to look good in front of the people that I'm still friends with. Okay, I live for God. I live for Jesus. Okay, I don't live for man or woman because man or woman is not always right. Man or woman makes mistakes as Jesus does not. So, back on topic of the whole thing of what happened was after 2019 or no, after 2018, I started really losing interest in the Splatoon community after that, and I just basically just disbanded myself. And I think it was like late 2018 when I did that, and in 2019 I just started playing the game by myself. It wasn't until I found this friend that I would play the game a lot more often, but I would still not be in the community and stuff. I was enjoying the game from 2019 all the way to the end of 2020. Okay, it was the beginning of 2021 when this friend didn't play with me anymore. It was not because of the stuff that was happening, the drama of me on YouTube or anything like that. It's just because he moved on to better things, which I don't blame him. This person was a good friend and stuff like that. Played Splatoon pretty well. But after that, I just stopped playing the game after that. Like Splatoon 2 just sucked to me at the time after that. That's the whole reason why I said Splatoon 2 was garbage. Not only just because the haters ruined it for me, but just because this friend of mine left left me with literally nothing to do, okay? He didn't even play Mario Kart Deluxe with me at the time. He used to play Mario Kart Deluxe. I have a friend named Major Link who this friend used to play with and me. We used to play Splatoon 2, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, and yeah, I think that was it. We just played those games together. And this other person joined in on us in 2019. But it wasn't until like maybe 2022 when this other person, when this, not this other person, when my other friend decided to just distance himself completely, from me and Major Link Gaming. It was a fun time. Don't get me wrong. I really enjoyed it. Like Dr. Seuss says, don't be sad that it's over. Be glad that it happened. And I really am glad that this all happened and stuff. Because the Splatoon community is not a community I ever want to be part of ever again. And God knows that this community is full of toxic people. Lots of people who are liberals, Democrats, and people who support gay flags or homosexual flags and Black Lives Matter flags being in classrooms. And that's not being hateful. That's the truth. These people are the kind of people who want those kinds of things to be taught to children. And these are the types of people that go to pride parades and flash their junk at little kids. Like, did you see like the Super Bowl that happened this year when Bad Bunny was performing and you had all these men humping each other and all kinds of other crap and stuff like that? Yeah, that was all happening. Okay, if you didn't watch the Super Bowl half the time, you didn't watch the good part of the halftime show, and you watched the Bad Bunny, well, if you didn't watch the Bad Bunny one, I'll just explain right now. That's pretty much what happened. You just see men humping each other, and you just see all kinds of bad stuff. All this stuff was happening in front of children. All the things that happen in front of children, and these are the type of impressionable little ones that are being taught about this rainbow flag, this Black Lives Matter flag. Children don't need to be taught this type of crap, okay? They don't even need to know. They don't need to be asked. They don't need to be asking what that flag means, because what it means is something they don't need to know, okay? That really got off topic. I really don't care though. Splatoon community, garbage. Splatoon is just an okay game, but I still don't really like playing it. I really don't know what to say about that. I mean, the Splatoon friends I had back then were pretty cool. It would be nice if a lot of them forgave me for, telling them to delete Octo Expansion and harassing them, basically, because that used to be me back then. But I really hope they would really understand that this is not me anymore. I'm completely changed. I have a light shining that acts like a barrier to anything that the enemy throws at me, whether the enemy be haters, people that scam, people that harass others, people that literally blasphemous God. And like I said, this is not to be hateful or anything like that. This is the truth. This is the complete truth of my story with the Splatoon community, and the reason why I quit Splatoon pretty much cold turkey. I mean, I still like the game, don't get me wrong, but when you're someone who's a very hated person, even though he's a man that's under God, basically, and someone who's really hated by a community that pretty much knows his name and will pretty much go after him if they see him in game, kind of like Putz12, if you know who that is. Putz12 is a guy who played Splatoon all the way to Splatoon 3, and he got himself harassed and stuff like that in games. And if I was someone who took Splatoon that seriously, I could have became the next Putz12, which I'm glad that I did not take Splatoon seriously like he did. But anyways, I think I made this too long. I'm just gonna end this video before it drags on. Anyone who really got the message and enjoyed the video, really hope you did. And I hope you guys understand my story with the Splatoon community and stuff and all that. I really did hope you guys did enjoy listening to me. I don't put AI in my videos. I don't use AI voices. Everything that's in my video is 100% my voice. I'm not going to be lazy and use an AI voice to voice over my stuff for me. I'm not going to do it. I like it. I like explaining stories in my own voice. It's a lot more better. It's more detailed, and you can tell my voice is not AI when I stop and say basically. But yeah, gonna get off that subject. But anyways, I'm gonna end this now. God bless you guys. Please consider subscribing to the channel if you got here, and I'll catch you guys in another video. Peace out. God bless again.